What's up, guys? We're gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna walk you through taking cuttings just from common plants like a golden pothos, a scindapsus. As you can see, this pothos is pretty big. I've had it for a while. I do trims on it often, but I've been neglecting it a little bit. It looks pretty full. I mean, the vines are kind of, see, everywhere. I don't even know what belongs where right now. Here, a very ugly gap, just vine, no leaf. I honestly think I'm gonna chop that and then further cut these. So, scissors. You need scissors for this. You can use pruning shears if you're bougie. I don't have any, so I just use these. Definitely make sure you give them a good clean, disinfect, just wash with soap and water, that's enough. You don't want to be transferring any like yuckies to your plant when you're cutting it. Okay, so I had previously recorded a big chunk and my camera didn't save it, so don't know why. This, what I was saying before, which I already cut, this was previously attached, right? Let's pretend like that was attached. That's what I first cut from there. I was explaining that I would not just simply try and root this, because this is an insanely long vine and the amount of energy it's gonna take from rooting all over again to reach the end, it's just a lot of energy. So you'll probably end up with yellowing leaves or leaves falling off while it's trying to expend so much energy trying to root. So you have far more luck if you take smaller cuttings to root, because there's less energy that's needing to be used to reach the very last leaf. Starting, let's say, 1 leaf cutting. That's what we're gonna go with. I think I might just do a bunch of 1 leaf cuttings from here, honestly. So you'll find your node. Again, clean scissors. Here is that node. It's a little bump, you can feel it. You wanna cut below, and you don't wanna leave too much. So if I pulled this off, that ugly leaf, I could technically stick this into water, this whole chunk, and just leave it. But I have found that the longer vine you leave, the more susceptible to root rot it is, especially if you're rooting in water. We're going to locate the node. This is the node again, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And I'm gonna cut kind of like right in between, halfway through, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do, because I'm doing 1 leaf cuttings, I'm gonna cut right below this node. Actually, that's really long. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna cut, again, kind of like halfway, maybe, like right here. And you have this. We're gonna set those aside, and we're gonna move on to the scindapsus. So, as you can see, this is not a full pot at all. Right up to here, we have very nice variegation, super silvery. I love it. But as we get lower, oh, if I can show you, the variegation is almost non-existent. There's still pretty leaves for sure, but that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna cut it. So I cut this bottom part of the vine, right? Again, we're going to look for, we got a node right there. This is a node, kind of hard to see, but this chunk right here. And I'm going to do the same, just single leaf cuttings. All right, so we have all our cuttings. Most of them are single leaf, some are 2. If you're doing water propagation, you will need jars of some sort. It really doesn't matter. I use whatever is available to me. So like this is an old Slim Chickens container. This is just a mason jar. I use coffee jars, sriracha jars. I clean them out, or like liquor bottles are pretty good. Whatever you have works. And then you'll need water. So you'll fill your container with water. You can also add, some people add fertilizer. I usually wait a little bit, although it's probably not that big a deal. I'm just gonna grab a bunch. Again, the side you cut down. And you don't need to leave these to callus. I know if you have experience with succulents and cacti, you would ideally leave those to callus before propping, but you do not need to do that with these guys. That's probably good, honestly. I really don't want to overcrowd, I guess. Just like that. You will want to keep those either under a grow light, by a window, anywhere where it gets a decent amount of light, like bright and direct, or I guess if it's right next to a window, it would be a little bit more direct, but you don't want to scorch them. You'll be able to tell if they're getting burned. You want to change the water weekly, and I do this because I don't change my water weekly. I get lazy. Pretty much I top off when I see the water is a little low or it's not even touching the bottom of the stems yet. But I will do my best to change the water every 2 weeks is probably more realistic. Even then, if you don't get to it, it's fine, as long as you're topping it off with new water. And then when you do remember, change the water, and it's no big deal. But if you do see some yuckies in the water or the water turning a funky color, definitely change it out. So last point, actually, you can keep these cuttings in water technically as long as you'd like. I have this Monstera cutting I took, I don't know, months ago. As you can see, it's very well rooted. It could have been potted up months ago. I keep it in my bathroom so it doesn't get the correct amount of light, which is why the growth is so slow. The water is low and dirty, and I need to clean it, but I've been ignoring it, so don't judge me. But when you have your cuttings in a clean jar, obviously with clean water, they look really cool. You can put them on your dining table, like a centerpiece, on your windowsill, whatever. And it also, if you are struggling with plants, like you feel like you kill everything, this is a very like cheat way of keeping plants. It's way more low maintenance, I would say, because you just top off the water. You have to clean up the jars every so often or they look like this. But if you feel like you kill everything in soil, or if you're a leca person, you can definitely keep them in leca in any sort of containers. But I don't have any experience with leca, so I'm not really going to talk about that. But besides that, I think that pretty much covers it. If you try it out and you give your plants a haircut, which is very beneficial, like this guy, the cuttings I took today will help promote more growth up here, sides, whatever, less growth on all the vines. If you have any questions, ask me. Sometimes they don't always root, that as well. I've even had cuttings that just don't take for some reason, whether it just wasn't stable enough or I wasn't giving the right conditions, or I don't even know. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and that's fine. That doesn't mean you're bad at growing plants or whatever. It's normal. It happens. So don't get all butthurt about it if it happens to you. Yeah, so I hope this video helped anyone that was wanting to take cuttings. Thank you for watching, and I guess that's it. I'll see you in my next video.